Bold for me may be something totally different. Bold for you.
Being able to celebrate other people's victories and being excited for other people to do things, being kind of going through all the nitty gritty of life, like the lotus flower that grows through the swamp. Can one of my children just call me and pretend that they're dying or something and I have to leave? Yes, we're so excited. Today is our first episode of Bench to Bold. We can't wait for everybody to kind of join along in this journey. I'm Marnie.
And I'm Alisa.
And Bench to Bold.
Yeah.
Let's just jump right in.
We're excited. Well, let's jump right in. Let's show them. We're not showing our boobs, really. We're showing our shirt, our Bench to Bold shirt. Let's turn around. Let's show them the back. That's the cool part.
Here. Okay.
There we go.
I'll read it. You want me to read it?
Yeah, read it.
Okay. It says, hold on, let me get over here. Your life, your game, your bold, bench to bold.
So what is bench to bold?
What is bench to bold?
Well, I used to sit on a bench, but I feel like I'm bold now.
I feel like I have done exactly the same. I mean, there are times when I still feel like I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm okay with that. I think that's okay. You know, because it's like
I think there are times in your life where you revert back, right? You revert back to sitting on a bench, depending on what at that moment you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And you learn how to be bold from sitting on the bench.
Definitely. And what is bold? Like, what is living a bold life?
I mean, I think that's different for, it's individual, right? Bold for me may be something totally different. Bold for you. But bold for me, living a bold life. I don't necessarily think bold as being loud, living a loud life or living an extravagant life, but maybe living more grateful or more blessed, knowing really who I am and really liking myself and who I am and who I've become. The sad part about it is my parents aren't here to witness, what a fabulous husband I have in life and friends. But yeah, I think bold's different for everybody.
I think that, and I love that you said that because everybody's definition of something is different. Mm-hmm. So for some people, their lifestyle is different, so everybody has their own version. I think as humans, as good humans, I think if we can understand that everybody's definition is different, then I think we can be more empathetic.
Oh,
but certainly
100%.
Being a cheerleader for other people to live a bold life, to go out there and know that they're worthy and that they have value and that they bring a lot. And we have a family saying that cheering for others makes you a cheerleader. So being able to celebrate other people's victories and being excited for other people to do things. And again, like we talked about, like making friends as adults and doing things that are stepping out of the comfort zone. And every time that you do that, or one does that, it does give you a little more confidence. So it's like chipping away at that and getting to a place where you feel really good about just your day-to-day activities.
I agree. It's kind of like, I think of it as like gift giving. I would rather give a gift. I get so excited about that than receive one. It's the same kind of feeling when you're nice to people and you feel like, you've made their day just by saying hello. I mean, you never know. I mean, none of us know what other people are internally dealing with on a day-to-day basis or what may be going on in their life that they're having to deal with, whether it be grief, loss, death, dying, relationships, breakups,
and, even how we met. So, I mean, I think that's important. Our origin story of how we met is important to why we decided we wanted to share our stories and share people that we know and invite people that we don't even know to be on the show. We met by doing something service oriented.
Right.
I have been very involved in the Ronald McDonald House charities for my whole life, actually. And that you are involved too. And so it was so great that we were able to meet.
And it happened so organically.
Right. Because the thing is, and I think that is truly a great, like you were saying,
it was almost
gift.
meant to be.
Right. Because we're doing things authentically.
Right. And we almost never, both of us talked about the fact that we were both contemplating on not being at this event.
Yes.
And we ended up going alone. Mm-hmm. She went with her daughter, but I was there alone sitting at the back of the room. Marnie's at the very front of the room. Like the poster child for the classroom, I'm sitting at the front of the room first day of class.
It's because my mother would always tell me, if you're not going to do your homework, just sit in the front. Just sit in the front. And it was
the exact opposite. I'm like, sit in the back so I can doodle or look at my phone.
I would sit in the front so that I knew I wasn't going to do my homework, but if I was sitting in the front, that maybe I would like have to pay attention. So that's
it was organic.
Yeah. And we met and became friends and then realized we had a lot of things in common, and making friends as an adult woman is something that is really challenging, and it's something that's really rewarding, but it's really challenging because we're not in places where you would automatically
be friends.
It's right. I mean, maybe, 20 years ago when my kids were younger, I could, be the room parent and meet people. But after that, it dissipated. And certainly as an adult woman, I'm not married. So it's kind of like, I'm not going out with, work associates of my husband or partner. So it's hard to meet women that are fun and nice and beautiful and supportive. So thank you for, saying, I'll take a chance on her. I'll be her friend.
Yeah. And that friendship has led into this wonderful podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited because I know that we're going to be able to share a lot of personal, intimate stories that are real and that are relatable. And that to me is exciting. I always want to hear people that I can relate to in some capacity. And then also talk with other people that have done things that really are bold and living their bold life and having to overcome obstacles and being kind of going through all the nitty gritty of life, like the lotus flower that grows through the swamp and becomes something really spectacular.
So many people ask, they ask me, what is Bench to Bold going to be about? And Marnie and I have spent probably going on 4 months now, 3 to 4 months now, really doing a deep dive into what we really want Bench to Bold to be about and asking, our friends or, other people in a professional realm, what would they want to hear about? And, I've had, Marnie comes from the athlete world. Her grandfather was the original owner of the Philadelphia Eagles and actually started the first Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia. But anyone who knows me knows that I'm an avid sports person. My husband and I spent a lot of time with sports here in Charlotte with the Carolina Panthers and the Charlotte Hornets. And now we have Checkers season tickets for next year. Oh my gosh, that should be a hoot. But anyway, so we thought about, the combination of, athletes and professional women here in Charlotte that, empowerment, female empowerment, charities and philanthropy work, because that's super important to a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's not, and I think that we're going to have our audience, we cast a wide net. I think that we can appeal to, we want men to listen to our show to learn about what's going on in women's lives. And we, of course, want women to listen. But I think that sharing stories of people that have lived a life, that have come full circle, that are now at a place where they want to share their experiences and share their wisdom and pass that on to other people, and maybe even get a few stories that were never told before. Right. That is something that I think people feel comfortable around us. So we're hoping for some of those golden moments that people will say, oh, I haven't told the story, but I want to tell it with you guys.
Yeah, because those stories may help other people, right? And that's what we're hoping for. Some of the people that we have on here may be vulnerable at times and sharing vulnerable times and moments of their life, but those times may help someone else and give them comfort or a resource to figure out,
and a skill set maybe, or a way to rethink things. My mom recently passed, and it's like, when I was graduating from college and I didn't know what I really wanted to do, I ended up working for the NFL, but I was like, I don't want to do that, because I did want to do it, but I was just being, I guess, a typical person of, wanting to have a little bit of rebellion. And she was like, well, get the help wanted ads and see what is out there, see what people are doing. And I still think that's such a great, and I've told that to my kids. I'm like, there's so many jobs out there. There's so many things out there, but we're kind of living in this,
tunnel.
Tunnel
vision.
I think it'll be great to have people on talking about whatever it is that they do and how they got to that, how they got there and what led them to that. And obviously when you're an athlete, you've really had a very specific tunnel pathway to get to that, to get there. But you've also had a lot of people making tremendous sacrifices for you to get to that level. So we're excited to bring people on and talk about what it is and how they got there and what difference they're making in the world and how they're contributing and how they can, lay their head on their pillow at night. I've done a full day of adding value and being a good person. And again, there are people out there, and sometimes I feel it too, that are vulnerable and having moments of needing some clarity and needing a friend and having some sadness. And so we hope that our podcast will be a place where people can understand that we're all in this together. What is your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure, if anyone knows me, you probably already know what this is anything sparkly, and I'm buying the next designer purse.
All right. Well, you are sparkly.
And I'm not going to feel bad about it.
No, I mean, now I think that all the TikTokers say they're investments.
Yeah, they're investments.
Right?
Yeah, we're chalking it up as an investment. I tell my husband that anyway.
But the TikTokers say it.
It's an investment.
TikTok, but that they say,
an Hermes bag, a Chanel bag, or a Gucci bag. I got to give Gucci props. We got to give Stan at Gucci props, okay? He'd be pissed.
And ultimately, I think we have to take the word guilty out of it. Yeah, what's your pleasure?
That's my pleasure. It makes me happy to go shop for a new bag.
Right. So that's okay. I think let's just stop using the word guilty. Because then I feel like it minimizes it. Because then you can go do that because you deserve that.
I deserve it.
Right.
Yeah.
So no more guilty.
Okay. No more guilty.
All right. So when you ask me that question, it's not, what's your pleasure?
So maybe next week I can go buy a new purse.
Go for it.
Feel guilty about it?
No, don't feel guilty. Don't. Because if
I'm going to have to start hiding them in my trunk.
Well, that's okay.
Or maybe at your house.
You can do that. You can do that. And you can hide them. I'll come. It'll be a covert operation. But I think that the word guilty, I feel like that makes us seem that we're not supposed to be doing those things or having that. So I think that if we're leading a bold life, that we're going to take the word guilty out of it.
So when I eat a cookie, I don't have to feel guilty about that either.
No, because you do that. Because you're not. The thing is, because I think everything in moderation, and you're disciplined, and you're doing the other side of the work. So it's like if you want to go have a piece of a cookie or have a bite, you can. Okay. You can, and it's going to be fine.
Okay. So I can get a new purse, and I can have a piece of a crumble cookie.
Absolutely.
Next week. Okay. We'll give Crumbles some props too.
You can definitely do that. Yesterday I was in the car and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a cookie, a few bites of it, and some water, and be like, everything's good.
Life is good.
That's it. Because I think that those are things that not feel weighted down or heavy about it, because that's not helping my psyche.
Well, it's not. And I think, let's be real talk here. I think that really, I come from a fitness background. I've been, in the gym my entire life since I was 18 years old. And it's been a big part of my life. I've fallen off the wagon a few times, but we all fall off the wagon with a lot of things that we do. But as long as we get back on, health is super important. And, I feel like if you restrict yourself from having that guilt, what people call guilty pleasure, we're not going to call it guilty anymore, but having that cookie or having that ice cream or that piece of chocolate, I feel like you work yourself into a body dysmorphic, kind of thought processing, right? I found if you restrict yourself from those things in life, then when you do eat them, you binge eat them. And then you feel more, then you feel horrible about yourself. It pulls you into at least myself, if I've done that. And I have done that, where I've, restricted my, my eating to the point where when I have it, I just binge eat, and then I feel depressed, and I want to go to the gym and stay at the gym until I feel like I've worked the calories off. And that just does not, that's horrible. It's a horrible way to feel and set yourself up for failure.
Right. And I think that the word guilt does that because we're automatically like predisposed to thinking it's guilty. And I feel like even like chocolate is not, now when it's processed and it's got all the sugar,
there are good health benefits to chocolate.
Then it is unhealthy, and doing anything without some discipline is unhealthy. A life without discipline is you're off the rails.
Yep.
But, like even the chocolate bars that are in your kitchen now, having a little piece of it and they're healthy. And then I think that like you can feel good about it. And we're just going to take the word guilt off of it, because if you're doing the work and you're disciplined, then you're not even going to want that much of it. You're just not.
No, I agree with you. And we'll have people on the show to talk about fitness and health and fitness benefits.
Yeah, I want to know all about those things. I mean, the thing is, my mom recently passed of dementia, but she was incredibly fit her entire life. I feel like the Incredible Hulk next to her half the time, like a bruiser. My mom was in amazing shape mentally and physically and ate. And so those are things that, are important, but she still got dementia. So what is it? Is it all these hormonal things that they're talking about now?
Preservatives in food. I mean,
and just, all of that stuff that we, that we just are not educated enough about. But again, I think it's like finding the discipline and figuring out what works for you and, working through that. And then again, having people on that are experts. I always say, like, if I'm going out of town, I want to ask a chef in that city where to go eat more than maybe the concierge, because the chef, even if it's like a dumpy little restaurant, they'll know where to go. And it might be like, I've ended up at some holy crap,
where I
get murdered
here,
but the food is good. So at least I'll die eating good food. Right. But I mean, because it's like you could ask my kids, they're like, oh my gosh, mom. I'm like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Next time we'll ask the concierge.
You know what? Some of the best places are in the strip malls in the worst place in the city that you could go.
Right. Because oh my gosh, it's like you have to go. Right. I mean, and we all love, of course, luxury, and I do that too. I mean, I love Four Seasons never makes me sad. But so I think that asking experts, although it's not what you do, it's who you do it with. So I have been at some Four Seasons where I'm like, oh, good Lord, please get me out of here, please. Can one of my children just call me and pretend that they're dying or something and I have to leave? But I haven't done that in a while. But I think that it ultimately, getting experts on that know different subjects, and even experts make mistakes. I mean, I went to the doctor a couple of years ago and he said, oh, you should only be drinking oat milk. And now oat milk is like the worst thing ever. I mean, they call it like glyphosate juice or something.
You have to be like my husband. He's a lawyer, obviously. And he does a lot of research. So he's always like, honey, you have to find the research behind these things to see if they're really the things that are good for you or bad for you. You have to do a deep dive in the research. And thank God for ChatGPT now.
That's true.
We have access to AI and we can find out all kinds of things.
Well, when we were living in California, our babysitters were from El Salvador. And Consuelo was like, I swear she was like Consuelo and Olinda were like witch doctors, right? I mean, they could cure anything with something cooking in the kitchen. All right. There could have been a chicken leg in there too, probably, but they would be curing things, and any illness, they'd be like, drink it. I'm like, it smells, just drink it. And then it would actually work. I mean, so there are some things where I'm like, okay,
old wives' tales.
I like the old wives' tales. Yeah. They work for, they definitely work for a reason. So I think we'll get Consuelo on. She can talk about her delicious rice pudding and the wives' tales
and the health benefits behind it.
Yeah, exactly. Because the thing is getting to the root of many things, whatever it is, mind, body, spirit, will ultimately be a good way to solve some problems.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What's one thing you hope our listeners will take away from each episode?
I think that they can have fun listening to us, that we can be a great place to go and enjoy and be like, oh, I like those ladies. I like them. I want to hang out with them. And if they can't hang out with us in person, then they can hang out with us
online.
Yeah. And that we're open and honest, and that that we're the real deal. I mean, that I think that we are what we say we are. And that's something that is probably unique in a world full of a lot of made up stuff and filters and images and whatever. I think that we're the real deal. I know that that's important to me. I know you are. I don't want to hang out with people that aren't authentic. And that word is so trite now. It's like, ugh, I want to vomit when my authentic self. But like, honestly, because I don't think people really understand what that means. But the state motto of North Carolina, which was I've told you this.
Me this.
I know. And it was the motto of my high school is Latin, SAESSE quam, QUAM videre. And the translation means to be rather than seen. And I grew up hearing that. And I love that because I would much rather be than seen all day.
And I never knew that about.
Yeah. That's the motto of North Carolina.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's something that I think is meaningful. And again, that was the motto. My school was in Pennsylvania. So I don't know how. Well, there's a direct connection with the Carolinas and Charlotte, I think, with Pennsylvania and the history of the founding of our country. So
interesting.
I love history. We'll get some historians on to talk about that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think about this next question. And you tell me what you think about this next question. For me, it's asking me, what's my walk-up song, so to speak, if I were entering an arena. And the only thing I can think of, I love hip-hop. Anybody who really knows me knows I love hip-hop. I wanted to be a hip-hop dancer growing up, and my dad was about to kill me if I didn't do my schoolwork and not learn Salt and Pepper songs by heart. I knew more Salt and Pepper songs by heart. I can still sing them by heart, and I'll do that for you one day.
Okay.
And he would always yell upstairs and say, hey, if you learn that schoolwork like you learn Salt and Pepper songs, you'd be a straight A student. But my walk-up song is going to be always All I Do Is Win.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. And
what makes you feel why that song?
I love that song because obviously it's a great hip-hop, great, dance. I love to dance song. But not only that, I want to always be positive and never be negative about things because it's like self-fulfilling prophecies, right? You tell yourself something enough, you're going to start to believe it. So if I tell myself all I'm going to do is win, I really feel like all I'm going to do is win. And for most of my life, I feel like I have been a winner. I have, been in various aspects of my life. I feel like a winner. I've been in competitive sports. I was a bodybuilder. I was a cyclist outside. I was a runner. I ran the New York City Marathon. I'm a tennis player. I feel like I win at everything I do. I may not place first, but I still show up, and I feel like that's, a winner.
I think that is beautiful. And I feel like it definitely, you are a competitive person, but you're a gracious competitor. And so I think that that's something also that is very unique about you. And I love the idea that we want to tell ourselves good things. We want to, and there have been studies where if you talk to water, I think, and tell water how pretty it is, it looks different under the microscope than if you're not nice to the water. Have you heard about that?
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That if you tell that the water can pick up on and definitely plants, and that's really, talk to your plants.
I've heard that.
You got to talk to your plants.
You have to talk to your plants.
And
I don't feel like I have a green thumb.
I don't, but I try to.
I have a neighbor who can raise anything. She can grow anything in her home, and she grows I don't even know the flowers, the irises. Are they irises? Or what's the beautiful?
Hydrangeas?
No, the one that you grow in the house, violets. Violets, or the ones with the beautiful leaves. You see, I'm not a green thumb kind of person, but she can grow them beautifully. And someone sends me one here and it dies immediately. I'm not a green thumb kind of person.
Well, I think we need to have an arborist on.
Yeah,
we can educate ourselves.
That's a great idea
on that. Because there is something very therapeutic about doing that. And that's her thing. Like, we want people to listen in to have as therapy in a way. I mean, obviously, if there's something clinically wrong, we want people to get help so that they can feel good about themselves. But just some general overarching tips on therapeuticals that aren't involving taking a pill or something like that, just to feel good about yourself.
So if you had a walk-up song, what would it be?
Well, so one of my favorite songs from when I was, growing up is they're very Philadelphia. It's a band called McFadden and Whitehead. And the name of the song is Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
Okay. And so there's been a remake of that.
I know. So in 1981, when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, they are from Philadelphia. They were part of the whole Philadelphia music culture. And there was, which of course Will Smith ended up becoming, like, he's kind of an offshoot of that, of McFadden and Whitehead. But the Spinners were part of it, and Teddy Pendergrass. But Ain't No Stopping Us Now is a great song. And when 1981, that band, McFadden and Whitehead, rewrote the lyrics to that song. And so that they could incorporate the players and my grandfather and the coach when they talked about, making it to the Super Bowl. So it was lots of fun, but it's a good song. And there ain't no stopping us now. Like, there isn't. Like, nothing can really stop us. And so as humans, we want to continue to stretch ourselves and be disciplined and dedicated and helping others and doing all those things. So that would be my walk-up song.
Okay.
Yeah. And would I be able to get a home run? Maybe. We'll see. We'll work on that. I feel like I'm more of a pitcher than a hitter, but who knows?
Okay. All right. So last question.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, geez. I would, now I feel like I'm going to start crying. I would tell myself what I would probably, what I tell myself every day, the same thing is that, like, you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. What would I tell
What about you?
What would I tell to my younger self? A couple things. I would tell myself to read the book Boundaries a lot sooner than I did. If you haven't read it, Henry Cloud, fabulous job. But the most important thing I would tell myself, my younger self, is to spend more time with my family, my parents. I lost my dad in 2011 to cancer, and I lost my mom in 2019 to cancer. And I would tell anyone who don't spend time with their family, especially their mom and dad, if they don't have their mom and dad. I'm an only child and I don't have siblings. So it gets lonely. So thank God I have a wonderful husband who is my family and great friends like you, Marnie, and your kids that are, have become family. But there's nothing like your mom and dad. And you know that. You still have your dad, but you just recently lost your mom. And it's so important to have your mom and dad. There's just a lot of times that you need your mom and dad more than you need anyone.
Yes.
So I would tell my younger self, and I tell people now, spend all the time you can with your mom or dad.
That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really fortunate because I did get to spend a lot of time with my mom. She lived with us, and that was, watching somebody get ill.
Yeah.
You went through it with your mom.
Yeah. Luckily, it wasn't a long period of time with either one of them. It was very short-lived. Because it can be long drawn out, like you had to experience, which is, it can be horrific to watch. Mine was months as opposed to years.
Yeah.
Each.
But I think that, like, those are the things that Jonathan, my oldest son, when he was 9 months old, he had neuroblastoma. He had, which is a very, traditionally a very deadly type of pediatric cancer. But we were fortunate, and we had great doctors, and we had all the good luck and good fortune on our side, and he survived and is doing great and whatever. But when he was diagnosed with cancer, a friend of mine said, you're only really given things that, that the Lord, not to bring like things religion like that into it, but that you can handle or that you're prepared for. And so it's like, okay, sometimes we have to become experts at situations we don't really want to be experts in, but we do it because we have the ability to do it. And I think that, like, again, people tuning into our show, we're kind of experts at some things. Like, I'm a we know a lot of things. We're not experts at everything, certainly, but I think our listeners will enjoy just tuning in and hearing experts talk, but also knowing that like we get to do this great life thing. Let's have fun at it and also try to really make a difference as much as we can.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
This adventure.
I like just spending time with you is fun.
Yeah.
And then getting to make new friends that we're going to connect with online and bringing in people and learning. I love to learn. So having other people on, I want people to write into us and tell us what they think they want to hear, what they want us to do.
Yeah. We have a great lineup.
Yeah, we do.
We do. We're excited about it.
But if there's things that like
you want to hear,
let us know.
Let us know.
And follow us at Bench to Bold. Follow me, Marnie Schneider 1.
And I'm at A Chic Alisa.
And what else?
Thank you everyone for listening today. We really appreciate it. We're looking forward to Bench to Bold.
That's right. No other way. See you next time.
See you next time.